The stars grew darker. The horizon's edge slowed as it neared an old planet called Thalon 3. Long ago, Thalon 3 had been full of life. Green forests, tall cities, children laughing in the streets. Then, the council left it to burn. When a supply ship stopped coming, the people sent distress calls. But no one came. No one cared. Lyra stared at the broken world on the screen. Her heart hurt. "I've heard of this place," she whispered. "My father was born here." Captain Ryan Hale nodded. "We know." The planet now looked dead. Gray skies, ruined buildings, and silence. But there was something else. Movement. Lieutenant Aria zoomed in the camera. Everyone on the bridge leaned forward. Small dots moved in the ashes. "Life," she said softly. "There are survivors down there." Lyra stood up fast. "What? After all this time?" Ryan turned toward his crew. "Prepare a dropship. We go down in 1 hour." The descent was rough. Ash clouds filled the sky. Wind screamed against the hull. The shuttle landed near an old city, half buried in dust. Lyra stepped out first, followed by Ryan, Aria, and 2 soldiers. The air was thick and dry. Broken signs shook in the wind. And then they saw them. People. Thin, covered in cloth and dirt, eyes wide. At first they ran, hid behind walls, fearful. But then one child looked up and saw the Earth flag on Ryan's shoulder. She stopped running. A voice broke the silence. "Human?" Ryan knelt. "Yes," he said. "We came back." An older woman stepped forward. Her voice was shaking. "We begged the council for help. No one answered." Ryan looked her in the eyes. "We heard you." The people began to step out from the shadows. Dozens. Maybe more. They were tired, but alive. Lyra stood frozen. She wiped her eyes. "They survived," she whispered. "All this time." Ryan turned to his crew. "Call the ship. Send medical teams, food, blankets, everything." High above the planet, Horizon's Edge opened its bays. Drones flew down. Human aid pods dropped like stars falling in reverse. For the first time in decades, help had arrived. Real help. From Earth. Hours passed. Fires were lit. People were fed. Wounds were treated. And still, the council said nothing. Ryan looked up at the black sky and muttered, "How many more like this? How many left to die?" Lyra stepped beside him. "Too many," she said, "and too few who care." He looked at her and nodded slowly. "Then we keep going." But someone was watching. Far above, in deep orbit, a silent probe sent data to the Council's spy network. They now knew Horizon's Edge was rescuing survivors, rebuilding old worlds. To some, this was hope. To the Council, it was a threat. In a dark chamber on the other side of the galaxy, a cold voice spoke. "Earth is back, and they're helping those we left behind." Another voice replied, sharp and angry. "Then we remind the galaxy why Earth was exiled." The room grew quiet. Plans were being made. Back on Thalon 3, the people gathered around Lyra as she helped a small boy eat. He looked up at her and asked, "Are the humans really back?" She smiled through tears. "Yes, they came for us." And far above them, Horizon's Edge hovered like a silent protector. Its weapons quiet, its mission just beginning. The human signal spread fast, farther than anyone expected. Inside the control room of Echo Base 1, Lexa, Eric, and the crew watched the screen. Lines of light stretched across the stars like a web. Jolly stared at the glowing map. "It's reaching the colonies. Hundreds of them." Varric asked, "But what happens when they hear us?" "The council will be furious." Lexa nodded. "They will, but it's our only chance to unite what's left of humanity." Suddenly, the signal bounced back. An answer. A voice, old and strange, echoed in the room. It was not human, but it carried hope. "This is Colony 17, the voice said. "We hear you. Earth's children are not forgotten." The crew exchanged stunned looks. Eric leaned forward. "They're alive." Neuro smiled. "And they're waiting." Lexa opened a channel. "Colony 17, this is Echo Base 1. We send a message of hope. We come with news. And a warning." Jolly asked, "What warning?" Lexa's eyes were sharp. "The Galactic Council hunts us. They want to erase our past and our future." "Then we fight," said Varric. "Together." Outside, the Council war cruiser loomed closer, its weapons ready. Inside, the crew prepared the station's defenses, the ancient railgun powered up, humming with old Earth strength. Lexa turned to Eric. "Can you lead us?" Eric nodded. "I've waited long for this moment." The signal continued to spread, calling every hidden human colony. Back on Colony 17, the message stirred hope and fear. Commander Sela, leader of the colony, stood before her council. "Our ancestors were lost to silence," she said. "But the signal reminds us. We are not alone." Her people prepared ships, weapons, and hope. In the void, humans scattered like stars, forgotten but alive. They listened. They answered. The fight to reclaim their place in the galaxy was just beginning. The stars seemed colder now. The horizon's edge floated silently near Thalon 3, still helping the survivors, but something dark moved in the empty space beyond. Deep in the void, a ship faster than any known technology cut through the darkness. It carried watchers, silent hunters sent by the Council. Commander Vrek, a tall, sharp-eyed alien, stared at his screen. "They rescue the weak. They build hope. This cannot stand." His voice was hard. "Prepare the strike team. We end this before it spreads." Back on Horizon's edge, Lyra felt a strange chill. She had grown stronger, but never forgot the pain of the burned world. Suddenly, alarms blared. Ryan's voice came through the intercom, calm but firm. Unknown ships approaching fast, ready for combat. Lyra's heart raced. Outside, dark ships appeared like shadows, silent, deadly, and fast. The crew rushed to battle stations. Ryan stood on the bridge, eyes steady. "We don't want war," he said, "but we will protect those who cannot protect themselves." The first laser blasts lit the black sky. The battle was quick and fierce. The horizon's edge fought with skill and heart. Lyra watched as human technology outmatched the alien ships. Every move was precise, every shot counted. Commander Vrek's fleet began to fall back. After the fight, silence returned. Ryan looked at the crew. "This is only the beginning. The Council fears us because we bring hope." Lyra nodded. "We'll face their shadows, but we won't hide." In the quiet after the battle, a new signal appeared. This one was different, strong, clear, and urgent. It was a call for help from another forgotten world. Ryan smiled slightly. "The galaxy is waking up." Lyra took a deep breath. "Then we have to answer." The horizon's edge moved like a wave through the darkness of space. Quiet, powerful, unstoppable. Captain Ryan Hale stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the star charts. They were heading to the source of the new signal, a planet called Zephora, far beyond the border of known space. "Zephora is a forgotten world," Ryan said quietly to Lyra beside him. "It was once rich with life, but the Council left it to die." Lyra nodded, her heart heavy. "How many more are out there? How many worlds suffer in silence?" Ryan's voice grew firmer. "Too many. That's why we keep moving. The galaxy needs to see humanity's true face, not as conquerors, but as saviors." Inside the ship, the crew prepared for their arrival. Medical teams gathered supplies, engineers checked weapons, and communications officers worked to intercept any Council messages. Lyra helped organize food and water for the survivors they hoped to find. The ship hummed with quiet energy, a rising tide of hope and determination. Suddenly, the ship shook violently. Alarms blared. "Impact detected on the hull," shouted the chief engineer. Ryan's eyes narrowed. "Report." Lieutenant Ariel looked at the screen, stunned. "Small craft. Cloaked. They hit us with some kind of plasma burst." "Enemy attack," Lyra whispered. Ryan's jaw clenched. "Not just attack. A warning." Outside, a shadow moved fast, smaller than the horizon's edge, but dangerous. Ryan ordered, "Deploy defense drones. Engage target." The drones burst out like stars, surrounding the shadow ship. The small ship tried to flee, but human drones locked on. A sudden explosion rocked the void. The shadow ship broke apart in a fiery ball. Back inside, Ryan turned to his crew. "We're being watched. The Council sends hunters to stop us." Lyra swallowed hard. "We can't let them win." Ryan's voice was steady. "No, we won't." The horizon's edge reached Zephora's orbit. The planet was dark, with huge storms raging across its surface. A dense, toxic atmosphere hid the ruins of cities long dead. Ryan looked at the scans. There's still life, but it's fragile. The crew launched a landing party. Lyra, Ryan, and a team of medics and soldiers went down to the surface. The world was harsh. Winds howled like angry spirits. The ground was cracked and scorched. Yet in the distance, Lyra saw flickering lights. They moved closer. A group of survivors appeared. Thin, tired, but alive. An old man stepped forward. "Earth's children," he said with a weak smile. Ryan knelt. "We came to help." The survivors told their story. They had waited decades for help. The council ignored their calls. Many died. Few survived. Now, with humans here, they dared to hope again. Lyra helped a child drink clean water. The boy looked up at her with bright eyes. "Thank you," he whispered. But hope came with a price. The council's hunters arrived. Dark ships appeared above Zephora's skies. The frozen man inside the pod didn't move. He looked peaceful, like he was sleeping. But Commander Lexa stared at him with a deep sadness in her eyes. Jolly stepped closer, speaking softly. "Who is he? Really?" Lexa replied without turning. "His name is Commander Eric Vale. He led Earth's final fleet, just before everything ended." Captain Varric raised an eyebrow. "You mean, before Earth disappeared?" Lexa nodded. "Not disappeared. Erased. The Galactic Council couldn't control Earth, so they tried to make humanity vanish." Neuro swallowed hard. "They erased the planet. They didn't use weapons," Lexa said. "They used silence. They cut off our trade, blocked our signals, spread lies. They made us outlaws in a galaxy we helped build." The crew of the Vitrax 9 stood in stunned silence. For so long, they believed Earth had died in a war or fallen to chaos. But now, this truth was worse. "They erased history," Varric whispered. "That's why we never saw Earth in the archives." Lexa finally turned around. "They feared what humans were becoming. Too fast, too smart, too independent. So they hunted us. I escaped. Eric didn't." Jolly asked, "How did he survive?" Lexa walked to the pod and placed her hand on the glass. "We had one secret project. Deep tech, beyond anything the galaxy had seen. It wasn't finished. But Eric volunteered." "You froze him," Neuro guessed. "We called it the Echo Protocol," Lexa said, "to save our brightest minds. We were supposed to awaken him when it was safe. And it's safe now." Varric asked. "No," Lexa said, "but we don't have a choice." Lexa activated the pod. Steam hissed. Lights blinked. A low hum filled the room. The ice began to melt. Eric Vale's eyes snapped open. He coughed, gasped, then breathed deeply. Lexa helped him sit up. His muscles shook, weak from decades of sleep. "Time?" he asked. 52 years, Lexa answered. He looked around, at the alien crew, at the unfamiliar room, at the stars beyond the window. Then his eyes locked on Lexa. "Did Earth survive?" Lexa paused, then shook her head. "No, Earth's gone, but these people found me, and I think they're ready to hear the truth." Eric stood, slowly but with strength. "Then we need to tell it fast." He walked with Lexa and the crew to the main control room. Varric asked, "Why did the council hate you so much?" Eric laughed bitterly. "Because we were close to breaking their biggest lie." "What lie?" Jolly asked. "That the galaxy belongs to them." Eric tapped a code into the console. It opened a hidden file, one even Lexa hadn't seen. A star map appeared on screen, full of strange markings. "This is the real map," Eric said, before the council censored it. "There are hundreds of human outposts beyond known space." Varric leaned in. "Human colonies." "Yes," Eric replied. "Not just Earth. We spread farther than anyone knew. The council feared that unity, so they cut us off, one by one." "But why erase all of it?" Neuro asked. "Because humans were building something," Lexa said. "A new kind of engine. One that could bend space. Maybe even time." "The quantum veil drive," Eric said. "It wasn't a weapon. It was freedom. Pure freedom." They all stared at the screen. It showed a hidden system deep beyond the outer rings. "That's where the last drive prototype is," Eric said. "If we get there, we can finish what Earth started." Jolly frowned. "But the council just sent hunters. If they learn what we know, They already know, Lexa said. That's why they attacked. Suddenly, the station lights flickered. An alert buzzed. Lexa checked the scanner. Her voice dropped cold. They're back. More hunters? Varric asked. No. Worse, Lexa said. Council warcruiser. Class Omega. Jalla gasped. Those are command ships. They don't patrol, they end wars. Eric's eyes narrowed. They came to erase the rest of the truth. Lexa looked at the crew. We have two choices. Run and hide. Or send the truth across the stars before we're gone. Eric nodded. We don't need weapons. We need a signal strong enough to reach the forgotten colonies. Neuro grinned. We used the same signal that found us. Lexa smiled. The one that started all this. The human signal. Varric said. Lexa moved quickly. Let's make the galaxy listen. Outside, the massive Council warcruiser moved into view. Its cannons glowed blue. Inside Echo Base 1, a voice, clear and human, was sent across space. This is Commander Eric Vale. If you hear this, you are not alone. Earth lives, and so do her children. The Council hunter ships came fast, dark, silent, deadly. From Echo Base 1's control room, Commander Lexa watched their signal signatures light up the radar screen like red fire. 5 of them, all fully armed. They locked onto us. Jolly said, voice shaking. They're not responding to our hails. They won't, Lexa replied calmly. Council hunters don't talk. They just erase. Captain Varric clenched his fists. His ship was still weak, low on shields, low on power. The Vitrax 9 couldn't take a full attack. Neuro looked at Lexa. Why are they coming here now? Lexa walked to a sealed metal cabinet. She pressed her palm to a scanner. It unlocked with a hiss. Inside was something old, heavy, a weapon. Not alien, human. I broke the silence. Lexa said, the Council fears what humans know, and they fear what I kept hidden. Varric stepped forward. You've been here for decades. Why now? Lexa looked him straight in the eye, because I was waiting for someone who would listen. The station's lights dimmed as emergency power kicked in. Outside, the first hunter ship moved into attack position. It launched a probe that spun through the asteroid field, scanning for life. They're trying to find our weak points, said Jolly. We need to act first. Lexa nodded. The station has one weapon system left. Old Earth tech, not strong, but smart. We built our weapons to think. Neuro raised a brow. Think. Lexa smiled. Earth tech learns fast. It doesn't just fire. It adapts. She activated the control panel. The screen showed an old railgun mounted under the station. It rotated slowly, tracking the lead hunter. Can we trust it? Varric asked. You'll see, Lexa said. Human tools always come with a surprise. On the Vitrax 9, the crew watched from the bridge. Their ship was docked to the station, powerless. Escape was no longer an option. Suddenly, a burst of energy lit up space. The station's railgun fired once. Just once. The lead hunter ship exploded in silence. No warning. No shield. Gone. By the stars, whispered Jolly. Lex's voice echoed over the comms. That was your warning, Council. Next time, I won't aim to scare. But the hunters didn't back off. They split into 2 groups. One moved to flank the station. The others aimed for the Vitrax 9. They're targeting us now. Neuro said, we can't take a direct hit. Lexa worked fast, uploading station control to your ship now. Your weapons are online. Varric looked shocked. You can do that. I just did, Lexa replied. Suddenly, the Vitrax 9 came alive. Its systems glowed with new power. Earth power. Jalla gasped. Our weapons. They've been upgraded. Fight smart, Lexa said. Aim for the joints. Council ships hide weak spots in their movement. Varric looked at his crew. Let's give them a reason to remember us. The space battle began. The Vitrax 9 fired its upgraded plasma cannons, hitting one hunter at the side. It spun out of control and crashed into an asteroid. Lexa, still inside the station, handled the railgun. She moved like someone who had done this before, hundreds of times. Every shot had a purpose. Another Council ship exploded. 2 left. But the final 2 hunters changed tactics. They launched a special weapon, a black sphere that flew straight into the station's hull. A virus bomb. Lexa looked up as the alarm screamed. They're trying to shut me down from inside. Varric yelled into the comms. Can we stop it? Lexa gave a soft smile. I was born on Earth, Captain. Raised in its shadows. You think I didn't prepare for this? She pulled a second panel open and flipped a switch. The virus bomb stopped halfway. The lights blinked red, then turned green. Counterhack complete, she said. And now I know their encryption keys. With one command, she sent a digital wave back through the virus signal. On the radar, one of the final 2 hunters powered down. Completely disabled. Lexa just hacked a Council warship. Neuro said in disbelief. No, said Jolly. She just outsmarted it. The last hunter turned and ran. It didn't even fire back. Lexa stood in silence, watching the red dot disappear from the radar. Then she turned to the crew. They'll be back, and next time, they'll bring more. Varric nodded slowly. Then we need to be ready. Lexa walked to a closed door in the back of the station. It's time I show you something, she said. Something that changes everything. The door opened. Inside was a glowing pod. Frozen inside, another human. A man. Lexa whispered, he shouldn't exist. He died 50 years ago, but we brought him back. Jolly stared at the pod. Who is he? Lexa looked at them with sharp eyes. He was Earth's last commander, and the reason the Council tried to erase us. Lyra sat alone in the cold metal room. The lights were dead. The walls were silent. Nothing moved, except her small, tired hands. She had been drifting through deep space for years. How many years? She didn't know anymore. Maybe 15, maybe 20. She had lost count after the stars stopped speaking. She was only 7 years old when the war began. Now she looked older, but still small. Her species, the Velari, were long gone. Their homeworld had been destroyed in the war. All the big powers had fought. The Council, the Federated Lords, the machines, and the humans. Then silence. Now she was the last. Her ship, once a proud science vessel, was now just a shell. The engines were dead. Food was running out. The air recyclers worked only sometimes. Most of the ship was broken, empty, and dark. Lyra lived inside one working room, wrapped in blankets, using old batteries to keep the heater alive. She had no one to talk to, no one to call. But still, she tried. Every week, she sent a simple signal into space. This is Lyra Velari, survivor. Please respond. I'm still here. No one ever answered. Not for 19 years. Until today. It started with a soft buzz. Just a whisper through the static. She sat up fast. Her hands shook. The noise came again. Clearer. Is anyone out there? Repeat, is anyone receiving this transmission? Her heart jumped. She crawled to the old control screen and hit the reply button. Hello, hello, I'm here. I'm Lyra. Please, don't go. Silence. Then a voice. Calm, deep, strange. This is Captain Ryan Hale, Scout Ship Horizon's Edge. Identify yourself. She covered her mouth in shock. The voice, it was different. The language was old, almost forgotten. But she knew it. Her people had studied it. It was English, human language. Lyra swallowed hard. I am Lyra Velari, last survivor of the Velari people. I'm aboard the vessel Starcaller, drifting near Black Hole Region Zeta 9. There was a pause. Then the voice came again. Starcaller, that ship was lost, decades ago. Are you saying you've been alive all this time? She nodded, forgetting he couldn't see her. Yes, I sent signals. But no one ever answered. Captain Hale's voice became softer. You're not alone anymore, Lyra. Help is coming. Outside, a shape moved in the blackness. Lyra ran to the tiny window. A ship. Sleek. Dark. Like a shadow with lights. Not one of the Council ships. Not like hers. This was something different. Something stronger. The ship stopped beside hers. Then, a small object flew from it. Like a bug made of metal. It buzzed toward her airlock. Don't be afraid, Hale's voice said through her speaker. It's a recon drone. It'll scan your ship. Make sure it's safe to bring you out. Lyra backed away. Her body shook. Humans, they disappeared after the war. Everyone thought they were gone. We didn't disappear, Hale said. We walked away. Another pause. Until we heard your signal. The drone floated inside. It scanned the walls, the air, the lights. Then it floated to her, gently blinking. A soft light shined on her face. It didn't attack. It didn't speak. But a small panel on it opened. A hot food bar dropped out. Real food. Fresh. Not old powder. She hadn't tasted real food in years. She fell to her knees, crying. "Take your time," Hale said. She ate slowly, carefully. Her body wanted to eat it all at once, but she forced herself to go slow. The drone lit up again. A small screen turned on. A face appeared. A man, short brown hair, hard eyes, human. "I wanted you to see who's coming," he said. "We'll connect your ship, bring you aboard safely. Just hold on a little longer." Lyra stared at the screen. She had never seen a real human, only in history files, in stories, in warnings. But now one was saving her. And for the first time in 19 years, she was not alone. Ryan stood firm. "We protect these people, at any cost." The horizon's edge raised shields. The galaxy was watching. Back on the Council's dark throne world, whispers spread. How long can Earth resist? How many worlds will rise with them? A cold voice answered, long enough to change everything. The rising tide was no longer just humans. It was hope. It was fire. It was the beginning of a new dawn. The darkness before battle was deep and cold. The horizon's edge stood alone in Zephora's orbit, shields glowing bright against the incoming storm of Council warships. Captain Ryan Hale stared out at the black sky, filled with enemy ships, hundreds of dark points moving with deadly purpose. "This is it," he said quietly. "If we fail here, all hope dies." Lyra stood beside him, her heart pounding, but her spirit strong. "We don't fail," she said. "Not now. Not ever." The Council's fleet closed in, weapons charging. Ryan's voice rang clear through the ship. "All hands, battle stations, prepared to defend the survivors on Zephora and protect the future of humanity." The crew moved fast, their training perfect, their will unbreakable. Outside, the first blasts lit up space. Lasers and plasma tore through the void. The horizon's edge answered with firepower never seen before, precise, brutal, and clever. Ryan commanded the ship like a master, dodging attacks, striking back hard. The Council's ships faltered. They had not expected Earth's fury. On Zephora's surface, survivors watched the stars ignite. Hope burned in their eyes as human fighters took the skies to protect them. Lyra coordinated medics and defenders, moving between broken buildings to keep people safe. But the Council sent their deadliest weapon, a massive warship, larger than any other, with shields almost impossible to break. Ryan gritted his teeth. "This ends now," he said. He ordered every weapon to focus on the warship. The horizon's edge fired its most powerful beam. The warship screamed under the attack. Its shield flickered, then broke. Explosions tore through its hull. The Council flagship began to fall. With the flagship destroyed, the rest of the fleet turned and fled. Ryan's crew cheered, but Ryan knew this was only the start of a long fight. Back on the horizon's edge, Ryan looked at the survivors. "They will try again," he said. Lyra smiled softly. "Let them come." For the first time in decades, the galaxy saw something new. Humanity standing tall, fighting for the weak, answering the call when no one else would. The last stand was won, but the war for the future had just begun.